Stationed at Vandenberg Air Force Base. And Vandenberg Air Force Base is where I met my very best friend. He's like a brother now. His name's Tim. We were both 9 years old, and we met in Cub Scouts. And we've been friends. And like I said, we're like brothers now. So we hung out together. We did things together. We, of course, Cub Scouts, but we also went to school, started hanging out at the beach, and it was just a lot of fun. I think that's where I have my affinity for the beach and the sand and the sun and the palm trees. Was starting there in California. And then as things happen, when your dad is military, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And my dad was then transferred to Malmstrom Air Force Base, which is in Montana. So I left the sand and the sun and the beach and the palm trees for pine trees, mountains, rivers and lakes, and snow. And snow. And cold. And more snow. Yeah, Montana, it's great. It's beautiful. I highly recommend everybody, if you get a chance to make your way to that beautiful place, to do so. My most favorite national park is Glacier National Park. Glacier National Park is a stunning park. They've got at Glacier National Park. There's it's called the Going to the Sun Highway, and it is just phenomenal. So if you guys ever get a chance to make your way there, go do it. You have to say hi to the mountain goats that you see there, and maybe once in a while you'll see a grizzly bear. Just don't go up and try and pet it like a lot of people do these days. They think it's cute. They want to get a selfie with a grizzly bear or with a buffalo. You know what I'm talking about. Those people that think that they can get away with that. Yeah, one of these days it'll get them. So, anyways. Living in Montana, like I said, I've seen snow. The first time I saw snow was great for about a week, and then it was tiresome and cold after that. I've literally seen it snow living there in Montana for 35 years. I've literally seen it snow at least once every month of the year. So if you've seen it snow on the 4th of July, you'll understand the frustration people have when you've got to shovel your driveway to shoot off fireworks, and you have to brush off 4 inches of snow of your grill so you can grill up the steaks and burgers and brats that you bought for your barbecue. So yeah. And then not only seeing it snow at least once every month of the year, extreme cold. And I've seen it get 30 below zero, and then with the wind chill taking it down to like 40 below zero. Now, let me ask you this question. Do any of you guys know what snot sickles are? Yes? Okay. You know what snot sickles are. I don't need to describe them. You guys can tell just by the name what they are. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun too. Well, during that time living in Montana, my buddy Tim, his dad, was stationed out here in Hawaii. And so he moved out here a few years after I moved to Montana. And about 20 years ago, my buddy Tim invited me to come out and visit. And I did. And man, I met him and his wife. His wife's name, her name is Aloha. She's just a phenomenal woman. I'll talk about her later, but I came out here and visited, and it was just a beautiful experience. And I told him that, you know, this is I have an attraction to this place. There's something here that I feel connected to. And he laughed at me about that. And then I said, I would move here if I could find something that would support me. And he laughed. And he said, you felt it, didn't you? And I said, what is this? He said, Jeff, that's what we call the Aloha spirit. And he said, it's a very real thing. And I did. And so he said, so you want to move? And I said, yeah. So we had been planning and scheming for me to move here for the last 20 years. 20 years.
เขายังมี
And then 2 years ago, he reached out to me in February and he said, you know what? He says, I think I found something that you would be interested in. And so he told me about doing tours, and yeah.
เจอราดโร
So
บิน
I
สัน
moved
เจอ
here
ราดโรบิน
a year
สั
and
น
a half ago, June of 2023. At the time, I had moved to Utah, which I thought was a good thing because I was getting closer to the equator, which means getting warmer. And it was beautiful. It's a beautiful place. I was working with a company called Cusini Brothers, an area manager for the state of Idaho and Utah. But I hated the corporate life. It wasn't fulfilling. It was, your whole life is dedicated to it. And you take it home with you, and you stress, and your family stresses, and they don't understand what they're stressing out, but you kind of have that stress permeate from you. So,
โอ้โหมอง
so
วิ่ง
yeah, it was
ชาวเมืองออกกำลังกันมาก
interesting experience. But then I moved over here, and all that just kind of washed away. It was just amazing, and there's a connection. A lot of times people feel they have a connection when they get here, and I felt the same thing. So one thing that I do know since I've been here a year and